Welcome to the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. Now, every fisherman wants to know how to bait up these things. That's right, worms. In this case, it's lugworm. I went down to Eastbourne to see Tony Kerridge, who was showing me a new way of hooking up their worms called stitching. I've never seen it before. A quick little how-to from Tony could put you in contact with a nice big fish.
Okay, there's lots of ways to bait up, Graham. When I'm using these fresh lug that are ungutted out the sand, we call them fresh outs. Basically, I've got my own way of baiting them up. Everyone differs, everyone's got different ways. I tend to take the lugworm, beautiful lug, it's all alive, basically, and freshly dug this morning. I take a little bit of the tail off, quite often, just nip that little bit off there, and I tend to thread it, if you can see, up the line. And what I tend to do myself is I'll get it halfway, and then I start with this winding process. Now, it's almost like knitting, but a lot of the guys don't do this, but it's just the way I fish, and that's it. I knit that through there quite a few times, keep going up and down. It's quite a long-winded process, really. Unfortunately, it'll gut, but that don't matter. There's plenty of juice in that worm anyway. And then when I get to the end there, there's a couple of things this does. One, your lug can't shoot up the line because it's knitted on there nice and tight, so it stays where it is. I use these stops in order to keep it where it is anyway, because you'll find when you reel in, these stops end up here. So I use two now so that it don't go anywhere. You get a single one, it shoots up there, and I wonder whether your lug maybe shoots up. But anyway, I'll use two of these stops. And what I tend to do after I've got it on the hook, because the bait's quite big, as you can see, I concertina it down, and I tend to try and make the bait smaller, like that, more compact. That can go. See that bit there? I'll just get rid of that, look. Now I've got a nice little compact bait there that anything will eat. But there's plenty of worm there and there's plenty of juice there, as you can see on my hands. But that is a cracking bait as far as I'm concerned. But other people, there is another way of putting a fresh out on. I'll show you on the other hook if you want. There's obviously loads of ways, but another way is to just take it like that, get the towel, thread it up the line all the way. This is how most people bait, to be honest with you. And try if you can, which is I've found a good thing. My mate Trevor Rooney does this quite often. Try and keep that, see that juice in that lug? If you come out just before the end, you can keep that, see that? So maybe go a little bit further than that, but see, you've got that bit there, so when that fish hits it, or the juice will come out, you with me? Here's an alternative to a fresh out, which is wrap lug, which you buy from the shop, which is nothing wrong with them at all, and I find them brilliant. And this is quite simple. I just take one out, you bang it down just to get it stiff. Okay, that's perfect worm, and I find these are brilliant for most fish. Just nip, I normally nip that tail off. It might be habit, but I'll just nip it off so it threads up the line better. And the same thing, you just thread this one straight up the line, round the shank there to the end, and that's a cracking little bait for dabs. And to be honest, Graham, I've caught £6 and £5 cod on them, just like that, simple.